असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतंगमय। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरि ओम। O Lord, please lead us from darkness to light, ignorance to the knowledge, from mortality to the immortality. Om, peace, peace, peace. Dear devotees, we were discussing the text called Aparokshanubhti, the immediate knowledge of the self, or the immediate realization of the self, which is the introductory text in Advaita Vedanta, the non-dualistic philosophy. So by studying these things again and again, we will be convinced about the supreme reality, about the truth. What is truth? According to the non-dualistic philosophy, the God alone is true, or the Brahman, our real nature, that is Atman or Brahman, that is only true. All else is illusory. This firm conviction, we have to get it. Then our spiritual life will be progressed fast. We can reach to the ultimate goal, supreme goal, very fast. That is the reason we have to study such type of introductory books. Apart from that, to understand the process, every philosophy, every school of philosophy, every system of philosophy has got a particular way of thinking, particular way of approach towards the truth. So when we study the basic text, then we'll be introduced for this basic approach towards a system of philosophy, towards school of philosophy, or towards the truth. In advanced text, it may not be there. That is the reason we are supposed to study the basic text. And the second thing is, every subject has got a particular meaning for a word. For an example, what is energy? If I ask a layman, probably I did mention in one of my lectures this. Capacity to do the work is called energy. Any layman, if he asks to define the energy, we define. But for a chemist, the definition will be different. For a physicist, the concept of energy and the meaning of energy will be different. For an example, for a philosopher, if you ask what is energy, again, his definition of energy will be different. So every subject, every system of philosophy has got definite meaning for that particular word. And similarly, in philosophy, we have to understand these things very particularly, clearly. Like, what is mind? For an example, what is mind? The non-dualistic philosophy, the Advaita Vedanta, says that mind is also one more sense organ. If you see from the science and especially from the non-dualistic philosophy, there's a lot of difference. And in the Western philosophy, it is a dichotomous theory, that is body and mind. And with special reference to Indian philosophy, it is a trichotomous theory, that is body, mind, and soul. So when we say mind, or when I use the word soul, many of the Western philosophers or the student of Western philosophy, they may mistake the soul with the mind. When we say soul, we don't mean mind, it is something different, which is existence, consciousness, bliss, absolute. So when we study particular subjects and when we are introduced to the definite terms, then only we'll be able to understand the philosophy clearly. So we have to study introductory text to any subject. So Aparokshanubhti is one of the introductory text for Advaita Vedanta, that is non-dualistic philosophy. Now 2 slokas we had been discussed in the earlier classes. We are going to 3rd sloka. Before entering it, probably I would like to raise a question in the listener's mind. Many of us, either in the spiritual life or in the external life, we have got a lot of desires, we have got a lot of goals, we had a lot of targets, but if not all, many of us, we are not able to reach our targets. We are not able to attain our goals. Why? Some say we were not lucky. Some say I was lethargic. And some say probably lack of hard work. And some say God was not compassionate towards me. God was partial. And some say that I didn't get a proper chance. I didn't get a right chance. So we may get different reasons. Yes, some of them may be true. I don't say no. But most in most cases, there was a lack of clarity and there was a lack of preparation. I wanted to be doctorate. I want to pursue my doctorate and I want to finish my PhD. Fine. I had a desire. I was thinking about it. I did discuss and all fine. But did I prepare myself for that? Was I eligible? Am I eligible to pursue PhD? We didn't think. Or many of us, we don't think. I only dreamt about PhD. I only dreamt about having the doctorate, but to have the doctorate, I should have a master's. To have my master's, I should do my probably graduation and in a good percentage and with a good college and a good hold on the subjects. So such proper thinking, clarity of thought and good preparation may not be there with most of us. And probably one more example is still more precisely I want to say, if you want me to say that, I want to pursue PhD in the scholarships scheme in the Dublin, in the Trinity College only. Probably getting a seat for PhD anywhere in Dublin or in any other universities, I may get. And one is that I want in Trinity College only. And it is not that payment, I want scholarship. I want merit scholarship. With that merit scholarship, I would like to pursue my PhD degree. If someone has got desire, such desire, fine, never mind. But oneself should prepare himself or herself for to be eligible, to be capable of getting merit scholarship and to be eligible and to get a seat for pursuing a doctoral degree, that is PhD in the Trinity College. So this point, most of us, we forget. We think a lot, we speak a lot, we talk a lot, we dream a lot, but we don't prepare ourselves. We don't prepare ourselves rightfully at right time to attain our goals, to reach our goals. This is very, very important, either in the secular life and of course, it is much more in spiritual life. In spiritual life, without preparations, then definitely, how much ever we may try in religious life or in spiritual life, we'll not be able to attain the God. We'll not be able to attain or we'll not be able to reach the God. That's what Adi Shankaracharya, the great saint or philosopher, is telling in this sloka. Svavarnashrama dharmena tapasa haritoshanat sadhanam prabhavet pumsam vairagyadi chatushtayam. Sva varnashrama dharmena. Sva, one's own. Varna, that is a social order, class or group. Ashrama, stage of life. Dharmena, that is one's own duty. Again, you see here, dharma means it is not religion. It is not Hinduism. It is not Christianity. It is not Islam. Here, dharma means it is one's own duty. Tapasa, by austerity. Haritoshanat, by propitiating Hari. Then sadhanam, by practice. What sadhanam? Chatushtayam sadhanam. From fourfold means. Here sadhanam means. Prabhavet, arises, pumsam, of men. Again, men means what? It is only for male people, not for female. No. Here men means it is human being. Vairagyadi, dispassion, and also will be arise, dispassion and the like. Means one who follows varnashrama, one who follow his own duty properly, and one who worships God, one who practices devotion, he will be fit to take Vedantic study. He will be a fit person to pursue the path of self-realization. That's what Adi Shankaracharya, the philosopher, is telling. The running meaning of this particular verse goes like this. The fourfold qualifications are the four preliminary qualifications which are means to the attainment of knowledge, such as dispassion and the like, are acquired by men of propitiating Hari through austerities and performing of duties pertaining to their social order and stage in life. Of course, there are so many things probably I have to break and I have to tell you. According to Indian scriptures and Vedas, we have got Varnas, four Varnas. They are not caste. Many times they are wrongly translated as a caste. It is not a caste, it is a social group. It is a group based on social system, social institution. Brahmana, the person who dedicates his life for learning, simple living and high thinking. He wants to learn scriptures, he wants to pursue knowledge, and he wants to share the knowledge with others. Such type of people, such type of mindset of people are called Brahmins. And then Kshatriya. Kshatriya is warrior group. One who wants to fight for the country, one who wants to protect the country, one who wants to rule the country. They are all warriors, warrior group. That is a Kshatriya. Then Vaishya, business community. I want to do business. Business entrepreneur we say today. So the business group, they are called Vaishya and Shudra. Shudra is doing work, clerical work, any type of work, labor activities. Such type of activities are called Shudra. Here one is supreme, the other is inferior or lower, nothing is that. This is called Varna. And Ashrama. Ashrama means stages of life. In India, especially with special reference to Vedas, the scriptures, the whole from our birth to death, it was classified into four stages of life. What is that? Earlier was Brahmacharya Ashrama. Student life. Student life, what I'm supposed to do? I have to listen to my parents and I have to supposed to listen to them, and whatever they say, I have to practice, and I have to listen to my teacher, and sitting under him, I should acquire knowledge, and as per his instructions, I should build up my life, build up my personality, character, skills, so on and so forth. Then when one, and with a disciplined life, once I become a proper rightful age, maybe 22 or 23 or 25, whatever, then I will have a marriage, and I will take care of the society, I will take care of my parents, and I will take care of my neighbors, relatives, and any needy people. Support the country and support the people, whoever they need. Support the family as well as the society. And progeny has been continued. And when my children comes to matured age, when where they are able to take care of the family as well as the society, and as well as they can continue their life independently, then slowly I should withdraw myself. That is called grahastha, family life. Then when my children are able to take care of the family and they're able to continue the family traditions and etc., then slowly I have to withdraw myself. My wife and myself, we have to withdraw, and we have to dedicate more time towards God in the path of spirituality. And when the renunciation is matured, when the vairagyam is get matured, then take the sannyasa, the life of mendicant, the life of monk. You are married or you are married, never mind. You can take the sannyasa diksha externally or internally. You can take the life of path of renunciation. These are the four stages of life: student life, married person life, then forest dweller life, and the fourth is mendicant life. So these are the four stages of life. And for every stage of life, there was a particular duties. One is supposed to study, one is supposed to acquire the wealth for his family and for the society's progress, country's progress. And when you go to Vanaprastha, you are supposed to withdraw yourself from the busy life, from the busy pursuit of life, and you are supposed to dedicate more of your time for spiritual practices. So every ashrama, that is every stage of life, has got particular duty. And similarly, from every varna, that is from every social group, they also had prescribed duties. Like for an example, Brahmana, he has to pursue the knowledge, he has to take the knowledge, he has to study more and more, and he has to share that knowledge. So one who does this selflessly, if you do with this selfish end, with the desires, what happens? You may get the desires, fulfilled, no doubt, but that karma phala, the fruits of action will be binding you. That we are seeing in the Karma Yoga topic in the Saturday classes. So instead of practicing in the Sakama karma, we shall practice Nishkama karma, more of selfless action. By that, what happen? We get mental purification. Purification of the mind is attained. That's what Adi Shankaracharya, the philosopher, is telling, that by this, means by practicing, performing one's own duty based on the stage of life and based on your group in the selfless way, what happens? You get mental purification. And along with that, you should also take the devotion. You should love God. You should worship God. And you should follow the injunctions or teachings of God or of the great people. With the devotion, with that love aspect, what happens? Concentration of mind is achieved. Emotional maturity is attained. Higher values can be easily got. When these two things, from the path of selfless action, that is karma yoga, and the path of love or the devotion, that is what bhakti yoga. When these two things, with the help of these two yogas, one who practices, one who gets establishes in these two yogas, what happens? He becomes fit person to study Vedanta, according to the Advaita Vedanta or the non-dualistic school of philosophy. Means he can start pursuing the self-realization, the path of self-realization. He will be eligible candidate to take the study of Advaita Vedanta. That's what he's telling, that about fourfold qualifications. And what is that fourfold qualifications? We have seen in detail in Tattva Bodha. Again, of course, we'll be seeing now also in this sloka. In this text. One is, first and foremost, is discrimination. What is right, what is wrong, what is eternal, what is ephemeral, and what is truth and what is not, what is false. So we have to discriminate between these two things, and we have to hold on to the truth. We have to hold on to the eternal things. That is what discrimination. The second is dispassion. Dispassion means it is not hating the world. It is not going away from the world. Rather, aspiring for higher things, leaving the lower things. This is what sublimation we say. So here it is dispassion. The third is discipline. We have to control our mind. We have to control our emotions. We have to control our senses. And it should be established. It should be fixed in the God. That is what 6 disciplines we have seen. That is what discipline. The fourth is desire. What type of desire I mean? Intense desire for self-realization. Intense desire for God realization. These are the fourfold qualifications, preliminary qualifications to study Vedanta or to take the spiritual path. So this is what eligibility according to scriptures, according to Vedanta's scriptures. Now, most of us, we feel that we are taking God's name, we are practicing spiritual practices, and most of the time, we try to devote our time towards religious practices, spiritual practices, but we feel many times we are not able to progress in our life. Why it is so? Most of us, we have got such a question, doubt, and many devotees, they do come and ask us, Swami, why it is happening? Why is because there is a lack of preparation in many of us, lack of eligibility. Of course, in our own way, we might have got some purification of the mind, some control of the mind, some control of the senses, some discrimination, some dispassion, no doubt, but we are not completely eligible. That's why, how much ever we try, we are not able to progress in the life. How? To give a just example. I'm a free man, I'm walking on the road. When I'm walking freely, so 6 or 7 kilometers per hour, I can walk easily. And suddenly, someone comes and ties a big rock or a middle-sized rock, boulder, to my leg. What happens? So I have to drag that small boulder, a small rock, and I have to walk. So what happens? Definitely, my progress of walk, my speed of walk will be curtailed, will be lessened, will be reduced. And someone adds one more rock, or they will add one big boulder to me, then definitely every step will be difficult. So our desires, unnecessary desires, and our unwanted thoughts, unwanted emotions, lack of preparations, all these things are nothing but these stones. So many stones we are holding on, so much weightage we are holding on. As a result, our progress, our speed of walking has been reduced. That's what I mean. What do you, how to understand that? Are we, why there is a need of eligibility to take the spiritual path? If not, what happens means our progress will be lessened. Our progress will not be fast. That's the reason the scriptures tell that prepare yourself enough to take the spiritual path. Of course, then there is no preparation. Then should we not be take spiritual path? No, we should take, and we should be conscious enough, and we should terms and conditions apply like that. So we should prepare ourselves so that we'll be capable of taking spiritual path. We'll be eligible for spiritual path. That's what the scriptures are saying. So you take a spiritual path, and after some time you say that I'm not progressing in spiritual path. That means God doesn't exist. That religion is not true. The scripture statements are not true. Don't blame. Understand that. Understand that you are not eligible. You are not capable. So try to attain that eligibility. It is very, very important according to the scriptures. And now Varnashrama and Swadharma, what is one's own duty and what is Varna and what is Ashrama, I would try to explain in a nutshell, in a comprehensive way. Tapasa, by austerity. And one more quality, the author is saying that you need austerities. You need penance. Why? By penance, what happens? That mental purification is attained. See, that's why probably for an example, now Easter, tomorrow is a Good Friday, then afterwards we'll have Easter and all. This 30 or 40 days will be, the people of Christian faith, they were fasting. So, because why? In the name of Jesus Christ, they were fasting. By fasting, what happens? Your willpower gets increased. Every time I'm eating, not out, at least in the name of God, let me fast. So that one is physically, my body gets rejuvenated. And the stomach gets rest, just like factory missions get rest. Similarly, in Corona time, the external nature got rest. Similarly, when do fasting, what happens? My system gets rest and it gets rejuvenated. That's physically. And if I am fasting, I'm not taking the food. I'm not eating the desired food. I may see chocolate in front of me. I may see pizza in front of me. Or I may see dosa in front of me. Because I'm fasting, I am not eating. So control of mind is attained or achieved to larger extent, to that extent or to that certain extent. So all these religious practices, spiritual practices, whatever we say, that is why, because of austerity, what happens? One is cleanse of the mind, purification of the mind is attained, and the second is willpower will be increased. I would like to get up at 5 a.m. every day morning, and I would like to sit for meditation. I would like to do yogasanas. I would like to study. I would like to do that. I don't want to do that. All such type of things we have got do's and don'ts list. But most of the time, for many of us, we are not able to do it. Why? Because of lack of willpower. And by tapasa, by austerity, this willpower can be attained, can be achieved for long. And also, our bad actions results can be nullified. I've got a problem of sin in me. I've done some mistake, so that is tormenting me. So when I practice austerities, so the effect of that can be reduced. And my debit or my credit debit is, of course, it is always relative. So my bank balance can be increased by doing austerities. Bank balance means not the money, I'm saying external money, means punya, that is a virtue, it can be increased. So what is tapas? The willful self-denial to achieve mastery over senses and the mind is nothing but the tapas. So not eating salt, not consuming sweets for some time, and taking Lord's name every day. So these can be few examples for tapas or for austerity. So once we practice austerities, what happens? Our willpower gets increased. Our direction will be concentrated. It will be more and more. It will be concentrated, and we'll be able to progress in quicker. And why do we have to take shelter at the feet of the Lord? I have got a will, but I don't have a free will. How much ever I do, in a boundary only, I can perform my actions. I can try, isn't it? That's the reason many of the time our energy, our time, our willpower, everything is limited sometimes because of our own weakness. And so we need an external help. Who can be the external medium where we can rely completely? We can rely completely on whom? Without doubting them, it is God. Because He doesn't need anything. He wants to, He wishes to, He loves to help us. And He's a complete man. He's a perfect man. He's a man of complete freedom. So He can really help us. And He doesn't expect anything from us mostly. Selfish, from the selfish point of view, I'm saying. So when we can rely on them, and when I worship on them, when I rely on them, when I pray for His grace, what happens? It flows. When it flows, what happens? Definitely, my progress, my journey will be fastened, it will be quickened. That's why we need devotion. The love is very, very important for us. And man is an emotional being. We have got a lot of tribulations, a lot of problems, a lot of ups and downs in the life. And when it comes, what happens in the life? Emotions gets disturbed. To have a emotional purification, to have a emotional maturity, we need bhakti yoga. We need path of devotion. We need path of love. When we love God, when we worship God, when we have a fellow feelings for people, and when we serve the people, what happens? Our emotional maturity is achieved. When our emotional maturity is achieved, what happens? Whatever the problems you may get in the life, you'll be able to withstand. And you're just like a shock observer, you'll be able to observe all the things and you'll be able to go. Most of the time, for an example, the people who have got the self-suicidal tendency, and they suicide themselves. Why? Because they were unable to bear the problems in the life. They were unable to face the problems in the life because of lack of mental power or lack of emotional power. All these things are attained by, one is tapas, austerities, the other by doing rightful living, and the other is path of devotion. That's why path of love, that is bhakti yoga, is very, very important for most of us. We need it. We need the external help. The external help can be, the best help can be the God's help. Now, after said this, after telling that what is the eligibility for this and how one can attain the eligibility to start the study of Advaita Vedanta or to start the spiritual life in reality, now the author starts telling what are the fourfold qualifications. So I told already, discrimination, dispassion, discipline, and desire. We have studied these things in detail in Tattva Bodha class. Now, the author in the fourth shloka is trying to tell what is vairagya or what is dispassion. Brahmadi stavaranteshu vairagyam visheshvanu yathaiva kaka vishtayam vairagyam taddi nirmalam. Brahmadi stavaranteshu, from Brahmaloka to this world, or to the tree, or to this present world. Now, what is this Brahma? What is this Brahma? Of course, here it is based on the Indian culture or Indian scriptures, Indian mythology. The Brahman is known to be the god of creation, the creator God. And according to the Indian mythology, we have got 14 worlds. In middle there is the earth, above there is 7 worlds, and below 7 worlds. And the above 7 worlds, the top world is called Brahmaloka, where the creator God resides. Afterwards, there is no more world. And in the Brahmaloka, if you stay, it is always probably bliss for longer time. It is the longest time or longer time. So you may go to Brahmaloka for thousands of years, you are happy. Here, few minutes we are in this world, in this empirical world, few minutes or few hours only we can be happy, or few days we can be happy. If you go to Bhuvarloka is this earth, Bhuvarloka, probably few years you can be happy. And if you go to other world, maybe few decades you are happy, just to make you understand I'm telling, not strictly. And if you go to above world, few centuries you can be happy. But in the Brahmaloka, for eons you can be happy, but after your exhaustion of your punya, virtues, the fruits of good action, you have to come back. So that is Brahmaloka till this world, empirical world, or to the tree. What happens? Vairagyam we should have a dispassion, detachment. Vishayeshu, dispassion in what? Vishayeshu, in all objects, in all the sense objects, in all the products of the world, in the world and its objects. Anu, considering yathaiva, just as kakavishtayam to the excreta of a crow, tathi, that verily nirmalam pure. The running meaning of this shloka goes like this. The indifference with which one treats the excreta of a crow, such an indifference to all objects of enjoyment, from the realm of Brahma to this world, is verily called pure dispassion or detachment. So, what is dispassion? What is detachment? They are telling that. They have taken the example of excreta of crow. Now, the crow's excreta we see, neither we get attached, we never get detached from that. We don't, because it is no value for us. We don't give any value for us, isn't it? So similarly, here they're explaining that what is dispassion? Means I should not give any value to this world. Means I should not be attracted by this world or worldly objects or worldly enjoyments. That is what. The such state of mind is called dispassion, vairagya. Now the question may come to you, why should we have vairagya? Why should we have dispassion? To be fit person for spiritual life or to take the path of God realization. See, it doesn't mean that you have to run away from the world. It doesn't mean that you should run away from the responsibilities. No. That doesn't mean that you should hate the world. No. That doesn't mean that you should hate the people. No. Only thing, don't attach to the world and worldly objects. That's what they mean to say. So it is not hatred. It is not disliking. Rather, it is going beyond like and dislike. Beyond love and hatred. Love and hatred towards the world and worldly objects. For aspiring higher things and giving up the lower things. Probably in the psychology, the marshmallow experiment is very widely known thing. What is the marshmallow experiment there? The marshmallow experiment goes like this. That 5 or 10 kids were made to sit in a separate room. The marshmallow was given, and the examiner, the person, he said, see, look, for a small work, I'm going out. In 2 or 3 minutes, I'll come back. And when I come back, if I see that if there's a marshmallow, whatever is there on the table, if it is left out, I will give one more marshmallow. One more sweet meat, we can say otherwise. If you eat away, then whatever one is there, that's it. And if you want one more, you should wait for this. So the experiment was conducted. When 10 or 15 kids were made to sit in the different rooms, and when the marshmallow was kept on the table individually, and in some cases, when before finishing the statement, some of the kids, they took and they started eating it. Fine. And some kids did hear it. They looked at the person, and a person just started going towards the door. Immediately they took, after a fraction of a second, just the few kids ate away. And few kids, they tried to control. Oh, if I wait for 2 or 3 minutes or 5 minutes, then probably I'll get one more chocolate or one more marshmallow. So some kids were waiting, they were trying, some of them were not able to, some of them were not, among them who were trying, some of them were not able to control, they ate away the marshmallow. And some of them were able to control. And very few kids, they kept waiting for the person to come so that they will get the second marshmallow. Here you see, a few people, they never heard anything. They listened simply and they ate away. And means they don't have any control at all about their mind and about their senses. Instinctively they leave. For such people, spiritual life is hard, definitely is not possible. And some people, they hear, but they are helpless. Why? Because they understand what to do and what not to do, but they are unable to do. They are capable to practice because they don't have a control of mind. Second. But they are little better, they understand, but they are not able to practice it. The third is they are trying, their sadhakas, spiritual aspirants. Most of us, at least who are coming to my class or any scriptural class, we all come under this third category. We know what to do. We are trying to what I'm supposed to do, but we are not able to many of the time or most of the time. So we are trying. The fourth people, there are very few kids were there. Just they listened, they waited, and afterwards, when the people came, that person came, he or she gave the second mashallah. So to have the second mashallah, the first mashallah was controlled by not eating. Like that. For having higher things, to get the higher thing, to get the highest bliss, to attain the highest bliss, I want to get rid of the small, small enjoyment. That is what we can say dispassion. Dispassion can be also tried to understand as sublimation. That's what. To get the large amount of happiness, small amount of happiness has been left. Probably if we are student, now we have got a cricket match today, World Cup cricket match final. And it's so interesting, and I'm interested in cricket, and I'm cricket here and I love. At the same time, tomorrow I have got my exams. Now what should I do? Whether should I study or should I watch my cricket movie? There's a lot of drift is going on in the mind. Whether should I study or should I watch cricket movie? Whether should I study or whether should I watch cricket movie? Some of the students will not have any problem. They watch cricket movie. Some part, maybe 20%. And other 20% of the students, again, they will have no problem. They just study. And in between 50-60% of them are there, either they want to study as well as they would like to see cricket match, and both cannot go hand in hand, because the same a thing cannot occupy, two things cannot occupy the same place, isn't it? That's the definition. So like that, two things we cannot do at a time. So here the dispassion helps. If you know, because I would like to study well and I would like to do exam well, and afterwards I shall see in the YouTube or Netflix or whatever in the tomorrow what is there. So such an amount of control we need it. There the role of dispassion comes into our help or into our rescue. So it is also a intellectual maturity, according to me, what is dispassion. Why? So what is reality? Of course, the world is wonderful. The worldly objects are wonderful. They are all pleasurable, no doubt. But it is like buy one, get one free. And it is 50-50. I will buy one and get one free. I don't want. No, there is no like that. It goes hand in hand. If you purchase one, the other will come as a byproduct automatically. If you want pleasure, no doubt, you aspire for it, you work for it, but at the same time, be ready to experience the pain also. The world is so pleasurable. Let me enjoy. Why Swami, why you want to tell that dispassion is required? Yes, if you want to enjoy the world, my dear, I don't have anything to say. Yes, definitely, I welcome you to enjoy. But only thing, I will tell you that with enjoyment, the suffering also comes. With the pleasure, pain also comes. With happiness, sorrowness also comes. With profit, loss also comes. Then what to do? This is the nature's law. This is how the creation is. You cannot help, because this is the God's creation. God has created everything in a duality, in a pair. You cannot get rid of it. If you want one other thing, you cannot get rid of it. Then what to do? Go beyond pleasure and pain. Go beyond happiness and sorrow. Go beyond profit and loss. That is what dispassion is telling you. By dispassion means what? I don't want pleasure, I don't want pain. If you say I want only pleasure and pain, no, it is not possible. If you don't want pain, then you should leave the pleasure also. That's what we are saying. Then why should I leave both of them? For what? If you ask, it is for bliss. Eternal bliss. Eternal bliss. So refinement in thinking. Probably I gave an example in my previous class. When we were small children, when we were children, like probably my sister and myself, we had quarreled for a doll. And now we are grown up, and today when we see the doll, we don't feel anything. Why? Because we know what is the worth of it. When we were small, we fought for it, and we might have got beatings from our parents. Then during that time, the value of the doll was there more. Was it increased and now it is decreased? No. Neither it was, neither it is. Only at that time, because there was no mental growth or intellectual growth, that's why we gave value. Now since we have grown up, physically and intellectually, mentally also, we feel that there is just one hero for that. Why to bother? Isn't it? Since we value things, it becomes very important for us. Since we value the world, that's why it becomes important for us. Since we value the worldly objects and its enjoyments, that's why it is important for us. If you don't value, then it doesn't. It loses its significance. It loses its value for you. That doesn't mean that I don't need food, I don't value. No, I need food for my body sustenance, but I need not to have a craving for particular type of food. That's what I mean it. For an example, when I was coming from India, some of the devotees said, Swami, you were having such a delicacies every day in the ashrama, in the monastery. And you are going to the foreign land, foreign country, where you don't get most of these Indian things probably. Then how do you manage? Then I said, see, one is we depend on God. Whatever God gives me, I would like to have. If God wishes that I should be fasting, never mind, I will be fasting. If God gives bread or butter or whatever He gives, I would like to take. At least I would like to practice that, first and foremost. And second thing is, I didn't join the monastery to eat and to have a merrymaking. I've come here to make up, to serve the Lord and prepare my life for the dedication, for the commitment in the spiritual life and in the path of God. Isn't it? So whether I get dosa idli or whether I get dal sambar or whether I get just vegetable salad, what does it matter? Never mind. And why? But for a common people, devotee was saying, oh, Swami, it is very difficult for us. We can't imagine like that. You are saying as if it is very simple. Yes, it can be simple for me and for you, for anyone. The moment when you don't give value, or when the moment when you understand the worth of things. I need food because for this body sustenance, just like we give tax, so similarly I have to give the tax for this body. So just I have to eat that food. That's it. But why I want the particular food? Yeah, that's very important. If you get a particular food, fine, you take it and you enjoy it. But if you don't get it, never mind, don't bother too much for that. Rather, you give your importance, your attention towards your spiritual life, not towards the goal of your life, whichever you are thinking. So refinement in thinking, that's what I mean. When this dispassion, when you get the refinement in thinking, it comes. And whatever the pleasures we get in this world, everything is time bound and space bound. Time and space bound, isn't it? Today I'm happy, fine. Yesterday, for an example, 15 days before in Dublin, most of us, we were all out. We said, oh, sunny day we have got and probably winter has gone. And now we are having a sunny day and winter will not be there. Biting cold will not be there. Fine. 3 days we all enjoyed, everyone. I was also saying a lot of people came out with the t-shirts and they were all walking and they were all enjoying sunlight, including me. I did go out and I had a good walking for a long time. But after 3 days, again, no. Again, cold came and cloudy, and 1 or 2 days we had showers and all these things. Now, if you had enjoyed that time, if you feel that that's how the life is, and now when you have showers, definitely you may feel that morose. So you have to go beyond that. Okay, you need a sunlight, you go when sun has come, you go there and you sit for some time, you walk some time, but because that your body needs sunlight, that's fine. But if you enjoy, if you seek pleasure in that sunlight, then when cloud comes, then you will feel morose. So whatever is required is different. What is our necessity is different. And what is pleasurable, that is different. So necessity and pleasure, there are two different things we have to understand. When this understanding is done, then automatically the dispassion comes. The author is giving an example of the excreta of crow. I don't give any value to it. So hence I am not attached. Then there is no question of detachment also. Just like how I don't give any value for this, so similarly, a person also should start thinking that whatever this world and above worlds, and whatever the pleasures, happiness I get from this world and worldly objects, and all are time bound. Hence, let me seek for the eternal happiness and let me not for this ephemeral happiness. That is what dispassion is. They are limited. Why? Because they are limited in nature. They are temporal in nature, and also it binds the soul. If, for an example, I enjoy something and my mind starts craving for some more. Today I ate pizza, fine, but tomorrow again my mind craves for pizza. Again it wants 2, 3, like that. It goes on craving, and we become the slaves of our senses, of our desires. We, instead of becoming the masters, we become the slaves. That we are not supposed to do. It should not be. That's why we need a dispassion, vairagya. And here one word probably stavara. One who knows Sanskrit, immediately they feel that, oh, stavara means stone. The literal translation of the stavara is stone. But here, contextually, we have to understand it is not the stone, it is tree we have to understand. Why the author has told till tree. See how the Vedantic philosophy is scientific and rational, we can understand. The Hindu scriptures, the Vedas, and as well as Vedanta, the non-dualistic philosophy, all the Vedanta, all other schools of Vedanta philosophy also, they accept that the tree also has life. Jagadish Chandra Bose, who comes from India, he has proven it, no doubt. He had visited Dublin along with Sister Nivedita in 1908, no doubt. Today it has been accepted. Till before his acceptance, it was not. But in Indian scriptures, they have told that the trees also has got a life. It also has got the experience of pleasure and pain. Why? Because the trees also have got sukshma sharira, subtle body. Now, whoever following my talks, clearly they will be understanding. They should understand that what is this subtle body. And you should not ask me that, oh, what is this subtle body, Sukshma Sharira Swami. If you ask me, then probably I'll be in the great soup because of Tattvabodha class. In Tattvabodha class, we have discussed these things in detail. We have got three types of bodies. One is physical body, the other is subtle body, and the third is causal body. And the trees also have got subtle body. That's why we say tree also has got life. What about the stone then? Stone doesn't have subtle body. That's why stone doesn't have life according to the Vedanta. Then, anu means what here? The one word anu means it indicates born out of viveka. Why you are saying that born out of viveka? What is born out of viveka? The dispassion born out of viveka. Why? Because many times what happens, grapes are sour. I'm not able to get it. I'm not able to achieve it. I say, oh, what is there in that? I don't want it. And really, my mind is craving heart of heart inside. But I may say that, I may feel that I don't want all that. I'm not interested in all these things. I've got dispassion. I've got vairagya towards these things. No, it is not natural phenomena. So, the dispassion, which is born out of viveka, that is discrimination. What is discrimination? We'll be seeing in the next shloka, which is in the next class. So that should be a natural phenomenon, natural dispassion, natural swabhavika vairagya. Understanding what is truth and what is not, and what is reality and what is not reality, what is unreal. From that, when I get a dispassion, then that is natural and that is truthful. Grapes are sour. Why? Because I'm not able to eat the grapes. I'm not able to get the grapes. That's why I say grapes are sour. I don't want it. No. That is called smashana vairagya. Cremation dispassion, we can say. Means viveka shunya will be there. Means there will be void of lack of discrimination. Here it is viveka janya. The dispassion has arisen out of discrimination, discrimination between right and wrong. Probably again, if you remember my Tattvabodha class, there I had given a beautiful story of Nachiketa, a small boy where he was given the kingship, he was given the lordship of the entire world, and he was given a lot of jewelry, chariots, elephants, horses, wealth, and all these things. But he said, no, I don't want any of them. I want the Atmagnana alone. I want self-knowledge alone. See, he had the discrimination. He had the dispassion, natural dispassion. Hence, whenever there was an offer from the demigod, the Lord of Death, he offered all these great riches. He could have become billionaire. He could have become the president of a country or president of the entire world, emperor of the world. But he said, no. Why? Stavara, from Brahmaloka to the tree, I don't want that. Dispassion. That's what we can see in the life of even Nachiketa. He understood that whatever all these things, Indriyanam jarayanti teja. I may get all these things, Yama, you may give, but by enjoying it, what happens? The power of my body, mind, senses, everything goes diminished in a due course of time. Then even if everything is there in front of me, I cannot enjoy. Then why should I go no, behind this, beyond, I mean, behind this, and why should I waste my life, which is in vain? Henceforth, I don't want. I want the Brahmagnan alone. I want the self-knowledge alone. So this is what the dispassion we mean. Anu means indicates born out of Viveka. Now, I said, so what is this Viveka? What is the discrimination which we'll be seeing in the next loka or in the next class? Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Shri Rama Krishna Arpanamastu.